question. Have you got any life lessons you've taken from your life that you would like to pass on to your daughter? I learned that I am stronger than I thought, mentally and physically. So I would... Oh, this is a really hard question. There's a lot of life lessons. One is, don't trust people so naively, okay? Everyone commits sin. Even family members commit sin. People need to be accountable for their actions. That's another life lesson. I will tell her people need to be accountable for their actions. So if someone wronged you, speak up. I will never ever silence my lesson. That's another life lesson. Not that I was silenced. No one had a gun to my head and said, shh, you know? But in the culture in which you're living, in the culture in which we live in, like, you hear abs so often: shame, family honor, family name. And it's like, okay, so you have to, like, in a way that kind of forces you to stay silent. Your environment forces you to stay silent. It's not always that someone tells you have to stay silent. Sometimes it's the environment that you're with, the people that you're with, the conversations that you're having that cause you to stay silent. So I would tell my daughter, don't stay silent for nobody. Speak your mind always. And wallahi, have more confidence in yourself, and tell her how beautiful she is every day. Okay? So I hope that answers your question. That's a very hard question. Wallahi, that needed a lot of thought. I did not give that one up. Struggle. Thank you, though. Do you have any life regrets? Yes, going to Somalia. But I think I went there for a reason. And alhamdulillah, now that I have experienced those things, I know that a lot of bad things happen out there, where before I was so ignorant to the fact that these things don't happen. These are not my people don't do this. I was very naive, but now I am a lot more educated on a lot more things. So, yeah, my only regret is going to Somalia, and none of that would have happened. Another question: in what way do you try to keep your mother's name alive? Oh, that's such a beautiful question. I talk about my mom a lot with my daughter. I tell her the things that she used to say to me, the type of conversations we used to have, like the funny moments that we used to have. And my daughter, especially from a very young age, when she saw a picture of my mom, and she's never seen it, ever, okay? The first time she saw a picture, she didn't know how to say a yeyo. So she said, she used to say a wowa to both grandma and grandpa. So she used to say grandpa to both grandma and grandpa. And so she pointed at my mom, and there was someone else stood next to her. She pointed at my mom and she said, a wowa. And I was like, oh my God, do you know my mom? How do you know? Like, I've never showed you a picture of my mom. But wallahi, that was the happiest day of my life. I teach my daughter like little things that my mom taught me, about just keeping your spirit up, being the lights in the room. And, you know, my daughter reminds me of my mom. She a lot. She's got her tiny teeth. I think I see my mother through my daughter, and she's so musky and so kind and so strong at the same time. She's amazing. The next question is, did you ever get married again? Yes, I did. And that's how I had my beautiful daughter. I did not have a child with the ex. We'll call him that for now. Next question. Did you have your daughter after you came back from Somalia? Yes, I did. Um, Another question, is your daughter from your ex-husband? No, my answer, she is not. Alhamdulillah ya Rabbi, because I don't think I would have kept that child, if I'm honest with you. Whew. I love your questions, by the way. How was your love life after? After I got married the second time, my love life was, it was good. I can't say it was great. It was okay because we didn't explore much. And I wasn't really sexually experienced because the only thing I experienced was, so it was difficult, and it took a long time for me to be comfortable in my own skin, to be able to enjoy it. So alhamdulillah, I think my love life has improved a lot. Alhamdulillah, 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 because not everyone is lucky, especially if you had the FGM procedure done. Another question from a sister, how did you find the transition back to the UK? Well, I found it really tough because, like I said, I had no support. I didn't have a support system. And that was one of the hardest things that I've had to really adjust and live with, is the fact that I have no support system. My only support system is Allah, my daughter, and my friend. Let's see, another question. How did you deal with everything? And did your uncle ever ask for forgiveness for what he did to you? How did I deal with everything? I have a superpower, and it's forgetting. I forget. I try to, I push it to the back of my mind. And wallah wahil mama, I don't know why I'm made this way, but alhamdulillah, I am. But I tend to forget certain details. I tend to forget times and the dates and names, and just to disconnect myself from certain situations so that it doesn't affect me as much. And I think that's why, alhamdulillah, mentally I wasn't as screwed, because it's really difficult to deal with everything that I dealt with. And I've always wondered, why am I okay? But wallahi, again, that's ilahi. That is ilahi. Woo. And no, he didn't ask for forgiveness ever. And I never spoke to him since, so alhamdulillah. Another question from a sister, how is your relationship with your family members after your Hoya's passing? I would like to say first, thank you so much for making dua for my mom. I love all of you that have made dua for her and prayed for her. I love you all, and may Allah accept your duas and your prayers. And wallahi, I pray for all your families. I love you. And my relationship with my family is non-existent. It's been non-existent from the moment my mom died. Everyone kind of distanced themselves from me. They didn't want to deal with me. I was seen as a problem. So yeah, things kind of got worse for me after my mom died. Since speaking your truth online about your arranged marriage, has your family been more supportive of what happened? First, it wasn't an arranged marriage, it was a forced marriage. I would not call that an arranged marriage, but I understand. And no, my family have never asked. The moment I stepped foot in Somalia, and even when I was in Somalia, nobody ever asked what happened. Like, no one ever made me feel comfortable enough to tell them. So that's another thing. I kept it to myself. Another form of silence is, not asking you, are you okay? What's going on? Tell me. Like, not having a comfortable space to talk. and I didn't have that. To be honest, brutally honest, some of my family members dismiss the fact that I was assaulted. They dismiss the fact that I was beaten. They don't believe it. They think that a blacked out Land Rover came and picked me up from Marco and took me to Mogadishu. And I was like, bitch, I wish that was the case. Huh? I wouldn't have pissed myself in the bus. Okay? Scratch your shot. People will say anything to make you feel like you ain't nothing. And I feel like that's what has been done for so long to me personally, as if like I'm not on their level. Like Kofi and me, I'm not a good person, but only Ilahi knows. And I know that I am. So I'm comfortable with that, alhamdulillah. Thank you for your question. Another question: how does the Somali community treat you since you've come out online and obviously shared your personal FGM story? Everyone was really supportive. Wallahi, like I said, I don't live in a Somalian community anymore. I've literally took myself completely out of it because I was not mentally prepared for any of that. I wasn't happy. My mental health was really decreasing. So I decided it was best that I just go somewhere where there was none. Just so that I could fix and work on myself, you know? Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. But I've had a lot of support, wallahi, online. I'm not gonna lie. Such beautiful people. I love you all. Thank you so much. And she also asked, were any of your family holding you back from speaking on the topic? Habibti, no, because I don't speak to them and I don't ask for permission. I'm a big girl. Thank you very much. Nagwena ahay, you know, God gave me a mouth to speak, just like he gave them a mouth to speak. So I didn't ask for permission, wallahi, but the family members that did know about it, my aunties, they were very supportive of it. So wallahi, they said, to be honest, wallahi, do your thing. And when I did have worries, they reminded me, girl, no one pays your bills, okay? No one is worried about you. No one's contacting you. So do your thing. So that's what I did. But no, they've never held me back because I didn't give them a chance to. Another question from a sister. Thank you again. After coming back to the UK, how did you get back on your feet? I did not get back on my feet because we lost the house once my mom died. So the rest of my family already had houses, and the ones that didn't, that were, you know, in the same predicament as me, were given a 2-bedroom house. There were 2 of them, and I wasn't included in the tenancy agreements. I don't know why, but I figured I wasn't wanted in that space. And really, I moved around from one family to another family, but I've always felt like I didn't belong, like I wasn't wanted. So ultimately I made the decision to just move to somewhere that I didn't even know existed. And that's where I live right now. But I only got back on my feet once I moved to my little village, and I started thinking more positively, and everything really fell into place. Alhamdulillah, and say Alhamdulillah. Did you struggle financially? Oh yes, I did. And again, I had no support. And when I did ask my family members for support, especially financially, emotionally, I know I was never going to get it, but I thought maybe they can help me out financially because I was really, really struggling at the time. And when I was given the support or the money or the finance, whatever it might have been, like money, when I was given the money that I had asked for, or I asked for help and they helped me in that sense, it always felt like I was begging. It wasn't like something, oh, you know, I really want to help you. Here you go. I see that you're struggling. Here you are. No, it was like I beg and then they think about it and then they give it to me. And then there's questions like afterwards, like, I don't know what I hear. It's just dumb, but yeah, I struggled. I struggled. I came to my little village with a pushchair with a child in it and 2 black bags. Well, I just deep that for a second, please. I moved into a house with no sofa, no, it had a king size bed, nothing, no kitchen appliances. It had no TV. It had no curtains. It had nothing, no washing machine, nothing. It had nothing, no fridge. But when I say I started from the bottom, wallahi, I had to start from the bottom, even though I had so many family members who were there but decided to just look on instead of helping. So alhamdulillah again. Could you tell us, my sister asked, could you tell us a little about your life after coming back? I think I did a little bit. I was homeless quite a lot of times. I had to move from house to house to house, again, because I felt like I wasn't wanted. I had no financial support unless I had to beg. I had no emotional support. I had no love from anyone. I had no one really checking up on me to see how I'm doing or how my daughter's doing. So it wasn't easy, wallahi. But right now I am a student. I took out my head that I am dabal, that I'm stupid. Like, I took that shit out of my head. So, alhamdulillah, or in my second year at uni in September. So, I'm alhamdulillah, wallahi. My life has not been easy since my return. But I don't want to bore you with the details. I hope I did answer your question with some of the other questions as well. Thank you again. A sister asked, how did you get past the trauma? What helped and what advice could you share? The first one was how you got past my trauma. The way I got past it, me, because I didn't have a lot of people to share it with, I was telling strangers. Wallahi, it sounds so bad, but like, I make conversation in buses, on the road. Like, I love people, so I like interacting with different kind of people. And because I used to work in the health profession, I used to do healthcare, community care, care assistance, support work, things like that. You know, you interact with a lot of people, and I used to tell them a lot of things, not everything, but things that were bothering me, things that, and eventually someone said to me, instead of telling other people your problems, tell Allah. And as harsh as it was on the day that I was told, and I was just like, okay, fair enough, thank you, you don't want to hear about my problems, all right. but wallahi, that person had pure intentions when they said that, because sometimes it's really hard to lose focus. So someone just you need someone to like snap you back into reality and be like, no girl. So I appreciated it a lot because it helped a lot. What advice would you give? Therapy, especially for anything like me, anything that you like. Me personally, I didn't go to a therapist. I told health professionals quite a lot actually, which is really sad, and they never offered me any counseling or therapy until I got to university, and I had a mental breakdown. And I told the dean at my college a bit about my story, and she offered it to me, but the waiting list is ridiculous. The waiting list is so long, wallahi, and they are amazing key workers. I consider them a key worker, wallahi. Miss mental health is very important. And but yeah, I was never offered it, but I think that is something to consider, because it helps. Like I said, it helped me talking to strangers, so which is kind of like therapy. It was my therapy anyway. And my advice would be, don't blame yourself, because often victims blame themselves and they think, oh, maybe I should have done this. Baby, it's not your fault, okay? You are a beautiful, perfection, okay? Yeah, you were done wrong. You did nothing wrong, wallahi. Please, please, please don't blame yourself, okay? I love you. Anyone watching that blames themselves for anything, not your fault, okay? Not your fault. Another question, what is it that made you realize it wasn't your fault? Oh my God, these questions are like, mashallah. Well, I didn't even plan this. Kitab Jama, I didn't plan this. Allah, if you see the questions, they're kind of like rough. I realized it wasn't my fault when, in the midst of dealing with everything, mentally, physically, emotionally, I came to the conclusion that it wasn't my fault. Because I remember thinking back to a conversation one time that, wallahi, was the first time I actually deeped that conversation. And that's the day that I realized it wasn't my fault. And I had a conversation with my mom. Like I said, when I was in Somalia, I didn't know that she was dying. So I had a conversation with her. She called me and she said, you know, why are you so worried about me? Because I was like, what's going on? Are you okay? Like, because I kind of sensed something was wrong. So she said to me, listen, I'm the parent, okay? I'm supposed to worry about you. Don't worry about me. You're the one in the, you know, war-torn country. She's like, don't worry about me. I should be worried about you. And I was like, nah, that's not how it works. But she said to me, listen, I need to talk to you. And I'm like, okay. And she goes, if I die, and I never, this is why I said I never deeped it, okay? She said, if I die in this country, which means in the UK, whilst you're in Somalia, I want you to know that not one member of your family is going to look back at you. So she said, when you do come back, yeah, I want you to, because it's going to be the same. She said, when you do come back, it's going to be the exact same. They're going to turn their backs on you. So you need to go out there and live for yourself. And you need to basically make me proud and do well and succeed and do what makes you happy. And live a beautiful, healthy life, you know? And I'm thinking, what? Why would you die? What? I'm like, I'm trying to figure out the death part. Because that was like really weird advice, but then I'm like, oh, she's probably just being a mom. But I deeped it. I think it was 2018. Wallahi, 2018. And I thought to myself, hold on. Hoya said this, knowing that she had cancer, knowing that I was in Somalia. So she was basically telling me that my family members were going to turn their backs on me if I was in Somalia, the same way they turned their backs on me when I returned to the UK. And I thought, okay, my mom already predicted it. So it's really not my fault. My mom warned me. She told me that this is going to happen, that I'm not going to have any supports, that no one's going to sympathize with me or have naharis for me, like kindness for me. She already told me. But I did not deep it. I didn't deep it. But when I did, I was like, nah, nah, I'm not. I'll do what my mom said. Keep away and do good. Wallahi. That's all I can do at the end of the day. How many siblings have you got? I got 4. 1 sister and 3 brothers. My little brother I love absolutely dearly. He is one of my best friends. The rest I don't speak to. Let's go. From your experience of having no support from your family members and being alone, are your family members now involved in your daughter's life? Short answer, no. They're not in my daughter's life. My daughter doesn't know my eldest brother and my eldest sister. She met my other eldest brother, I think twice or three times in her life. She's 6 now. My little brother, on the other hand, she sees him very often, and he adores her, and she adores him, which I'm really happy about, because as long as she's got one uncle who loves and adores her, I'm happy. But everyone else is no family support. Well, I just none, zero, non-existent. Another question, and don't worry, it's almost ending. So, had your mom been alive today, would your family have treated you the same? Hell no! What? No! Listen, my mom, first of all, did not like anyone insulting her daughters, okay? Like this whole Nila Sharmota shit. No, that was not allowed in our household, okay? She was like, even had they wa'li ikanan, anale, who you calling this? You know, who you calling Nila Sharmota? Nah. So no, they would have treated me with a lot more respect. Or the fakery that I lived with before, I would have been living with that right now, which I miss a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, even though it was fake. Have your family ever acknowledged or apologized for what has been done to you? No, they didn't acknowledge it because they didn't care to ask, they didn't care to know, and if they did hear about it or suspect it, then they dismissed it and acted like it didn't happen. So it's basically a lie in their head, I believe, because you never asked. Like, I don't know, they never asked, so they have no knowledge of it. They're probably hearing it at the same time as you. Well, I didn't share it with them because I knew they didn't care about me whatsoever, and there was no point. And when I did, I've always got the backlash and the bad side, so it's like no point. Based on your experience, did any of your male relatives speak up for you or reassure you? No. Nope. Not in any way, shape, or form. No one said what was done to you was wrong. No one said, I am sorry. No one said, are you okay? No one said, do you need help? No one said, is your daughter okay? No one... Yo, if you don't have a relationship with me, all right, fair enough. Like, I can take that, right? But I think what affected me quite a lot is the fact that no one had a relationship with my daughter. No one was interested. No one would call to check up. Is she okay? Well, first of all, no one called me. I used to get like messages like once a year, just be like Ramadan Kareem or Eid Mubarak, which I just thought was like, what is the point? Like, thank you. But you know what? I'm going to tell you guys something. One of my siblings said to me one time, I was distraught. I was so upset about a situation with my little girl, this particular sibling. And I was like, I don't know what to do. I need help. I need advice. And I'm like crying over the phone, right? And wallahi, like genuinely crying. And my this sibling says to me, oh, hold up. Like, I don't really want to hear about your problems. I know you're upset, but I really don't want to hear about your problems. Just like, why don't you ever call me like when it's something nice? Or happy or something to celebrate? Why is it like always like sad and just like you're always like in drama or shit? And I'm like, yo, I'm crying about like something to do with my daughter, and I'm trying to find help. I'm trying to sort something out. I'm trying to I was hoping that she would help me calm down. But no, she was like, just call me when you have something nice to say. Call me when you have something good to say, like a nice story or, you know, just something positive. So I was like, okay. And I never in my life, I think I called that particular person again and I complained about something else because again, I was distraught and you know, you need your siblings to support you in one way, shape, or form. And I was looking for that in a lot of ways, never got it. So I just got to a point where I just thought, okay, wallahi, you don't care. Thank you. You know what? We're siblings, but I don't have to live like this, okay? Like, love you. And that's how I've decided to live my life now. Where was your dad through all of this? My dad was working, eating, chilling with his wife and family, living life really, like paying bills, worried about other responsibilities. Yeah, he was living his best life, and I was trying so hard. Oh, and by the way, he met my daughter twice in her life, and that's his first grandchild, which makes me, again, made me very sad and depressed and shit. But then I thought, as long as my daughter has my love, yeah, she doesn't need the love of anyone else. But I would have wished for it to be different, and for them to have a little bit more interaction with my daughter, even if it's not me. She has done nothing wrong. And that's what hurts me the most. But I'm hoping that I can get over that sooner rather than later, although it doesn't bother me as much now. But I don't want it to bother me whatsoever, like whatsoever. So thank you so much for your beautiful questions. I have really enjoyed reading them and answering them, and I hope I have answered all your questions and gave you the answers. You know, I gave the answers that I could, and I was 100% honest. So I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much. And until next time, don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit that notification. And please leave a comment as well, because yo, I love interacting with all of you, wallahi. And because I'm so busy, I don't always get to, but I will reply as soon as I see your messages. I love you. Keep spreading awareness no matter where you are. Take care, and I'll see you guys soon.